right side of the market there. Well, if it gets, according to your example here, if we go to 91 and we come back, and where is the pivot figured out from support figured out from there? It all depends on the price action. Not necessarily have to wait all the way down to the pivot. It's probably not going to be the case. On the way up to 91, there's going to be some ebbs and flows, and the market's going to create its own pockets of support along the way. So again, every situation is a little bit different. Every rally is different. Sometimes there's a spike. Sometimes it's a slow, continuous rally. It all depends on how the market extends. So there's not one. Yeah, I would say that there's a little bit of a buy here against the 58, depending on how you get in. Maybe the lower end would be a better opportunity there, especially if we don't get it this time. It becomes a little bit more risky, maybe down to 7.5 and 7. See what it does on this bar. If it doesn't fill this bar, then look for the 7.5 and 7 area. So yeah, the objective is where you find your support levels after that. It all depends on how the market traded going up to it. So there's not one thing that tells you, oh yeah, we're going to be looking back at 64. That's not necessarily the case. So it's not. It's all created by the market. Everything that we do, or we're trying to do, is based on what the market is telling us. So consequently, the market is going to create its own different levels as the day goes on. That's why we look at the price action activity once the market paints some bars. So that gives us new opportunities, new support and resistance levels that the market is going to create intraday. All right, just kind of testing that, trying to test that 58. Obviously, it's a little bit of support down there. They got down to 59, 60 before. So obviously, it's a little bit more stickier than it was initially, but lower your number of contracts that you're going to trade and maybe lower your entry point a little bit. And that way you can take advantage of the level in case it works. And if it's wrong, if it drives through it, you're not going to get hurt that badly. And if it's too risky whatsoever, then you can cancel the level altogether. So the reality of it is, as a trader, you have options, right? And there's not one right way of doing it. There's multiple ways that you can use a trade or enter this into a trade. And you have to find the one that's adaptable to your risk tolerance, and so that you can trade it. And if we're wrong, you're not getting it hurt, and if you're right, you're going to make a little bit of money and move on to the next opportunity. Or if you're just not going to trade it at all, you're going to look for the next opportunity. One way or the other, those are all choices that individuals have to make, because everybody's got different risk tolerances than the other person. And also, you have to consider the risk of, not the risk, but the cost of doing business. Some people want to minimize that by trading less, so they'll wait. And others, will trade. And, obviously, there's risk involved here. So, but you have to learn how to manage your own risk and know what's going to make you comfortable. So that's the most important thing, because you want to let the market dictate your entry points and exit strategies, not your account balance. It's taken its time there, Don, but you are a very patient man, like I said. So Moderna is going to have a vaccine that's going to likely be approved. So it'll give us another avenue. Yeah, well, we're just kind of going back up here around our pivot. Could go either way here again. Would have been nice to go and knock down the 58 level and then, but unfortunately it didn't do that. Again, if you're going to take the 64 here as a short, anything above 66, you're going to be out of any shorts. So again, you have an exit strategy if you're looking to get short there. All right, again, we're coming hanging out by our pivot again. Again, if you want to get short there, you're looking for an exit strategy around the 66 area. If we get above it, so tight little stop there. But you're getting a nice rotation off of this again. Try to stay short. You could do that. If you took profits and you still have extras, then you're not going to lose any money if you have a 2-point stop with a 2-point. You already took some profits at 2 points, so you're trying to just stay short to see if we can get down to the 58 and cover it there. It's just an idea of how you can maybe trade that. Obviously, you need to trade multiple contracts to do it, right? So well, we're looking here for the 58 as a target if you're to get short there against our pivot area. Well, it seems we're a little range bound here, but who knows? But trying to keep you a little short there against the 64. Again, if you did that initially, you're in and took some profits, and now we're just trying to, with anything left over, you're trying to just see if we can get down to the 58 area. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to jot them down in the chat box area, or I can see those quicker. Again, trying to, if you did trade the pivot there, gave you an exit strategy, suggested you take some profits. So now we have a trade on here that's basically riskless. Trying to get down here to our 58 area. teasing us here with this 58, but hopefully you're maybe hanging in there trying to stay a little bit short. And we cover them down there. So nice little trade there, kind of showed you how to kind of trade that one through. Maybe you were able to take advantage of it. And we'll see what it wants to do here against the 58. Again, if you did participate there, a nice little rotation there off of it. All right, nice little trade there for us. Obviously, if you adjusted a little bit, you didn't get the, got down to 8.5. You can see, but hopefully we're trying to keep you short there from the 64 coming down here. So maybe you were able to do that. Kind of held your hand through it all. I thought we suggested that we gave you an exit strategy there, and then told you maybe, you know, take some profits off and then keep whatever you got left over for a ride down to the 58 area. And if you did that, that's great. If you're still waiting for 57, we got to get it on this bar here before this bar closes. Otherwise, if we don't get on this bar, it becomes a lot more risky. If we don't get the lower end of this, lower end of our entry points here against 58. If you did keep your 58.5 in there, you did get paid off very quickly and nicely. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Again, we're still on the same bar, so if we're looking at the lower end, good. All right, getting a nice little push here off of our lower end entry point. All right, nice little trade there if you did get in. Again, all we're trying to do is take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market using our levels that we gave out early this morning, or just waiting for the market to kind of give us opportunities there. We were trying to keep you a little bit short there against the 64. Kind of gave you an exit strategy, kind of walked you through it, trying to tell you to stay short, looking for the 58 area. And then if you did reverse and got in here at on this opportunity, you're doing all right on this little trade here as well. So our levels work. We're trying to keep you short. See, sometimes we can take more than 2 points on our trades, depending on the setup and the situation. Right? Everything depends on the setup and the situation and the price action. The key there about this whole trade that I was talking about is that we gave you an exit strategy, and that's the important part about it. You need to have your exit strategy in place so that you can take advantage of the entry point, and you can take advantage of staying short and waiting. Well, you should get your 2-point target too, right? I mean, it did pop up to 16.5 initially when you got in there. So I'm just saying. But I mean, if you're trading a little bit differently and looking for a little bit of a push, that's good too. All right, nice little trade there again. If you made the entry adjustment on the entry point, you did okay. If you kept it the same, you did okay. If you were short coming down to it, you did all right. If reversed, you did even better. Could have reversed, right? All of those things, again, playing both sides of the market here, being short and getting long, worked out very nicely, perfectly for us. Doesn't always work out that way, obviously. But if you did, a nice little trade. So there you go. Robert, nice little trade for you too. Everybody's happy. I hope. I hope. All right, that was quick. All right, so let's see what next opportunity here is. Next downside support level is the 50 area. Got our green band coming in there at 52. The blue band and hourly at 52. I got 50 as good support, so I don't know if we're going to get back down there or not. Anything above 66, definitely out of any shorts if we get a rotation back up there and you're looking for a place to get short. Anything above 66 probably would push a little bit higher. To get above 69, definitely go retest the 70 for sure, and possibly even higher than that. But that's on the upside. All right, so nice little couple trades there. Hopefully one way or the other, whether you got short, maybe you got both, you did both. You got short and then got long. Who knows? Maybe you did. Everybody did. Hopefully you took one of those trades along the way. Yeah, very nice trade there, Howard. All right. That's a nice little trade there for us. Now we're just kind of coming back up here, kind of no trade zone. And if you're trying to stay long from the bottom there, have a trailing stop. You're hilarious. You're just so funny. Well, I'm glad to know you're happy. I lose them very easily, so you might not get them back. Well, let it get down to 72 and change up there, so come play golf in Tampa. Great. You guys are all nice. He tells me to go out to California. You're telling me to go to Tampa, and I'm stuck right in the middle. I'm stuck right smack in the middle. You guys are all sweet. It's nice that you guys are looking out for me. I appreciate that. He tells me he's going to give me tennis balls, so when I go play golf, I can find them easier. That's what they play. That's how they play golf in California there with tennis balls. And the snow. Oh, okay. Clarifying that for me. Thanks. I appreciate that. So, there's some of you know, I'm colorblind, right? So they say that it's supposed to be easier for you to hit those like colored balls in this fall, so you can see them easier. Can't say I can't find that orange ball. Forget it. I cannot find that ball no matter what. I don't like my friend was using it one time. I couldn't find it. And he's like, "Oh, there it is." Like, where? It blended in with everything. Yeah, we continue to downtick here. Next support level we have is 50 area. Bonds, a little bit of a rally there, maybe. And bonds have been very kind of directional for us. Yeah, Tim, I knew you'd like that. Only the guy from California would suggest me using tennis balls to go play golf. And of course, he's probably playing golf in his flip flops because that's what he would do. And he plays golf with a tennis racket because he doesn't have. That's what he does. So stuff like that. That's what I'm dealing with when I talk to these guys from California. But he's good out of the sand because he spends most of his time at the beach. So practices all that sand shots over there. At least that's what he tells me. It is an advantage, right? The beach. Wow, Don's really excited. You gave him an idea. He said, "No, I can probably hit that one." he he likes he likes the tennis ball idea. He's gonna go play golf with a tennis ball. He's gonna tee it up. They got special tees for the tennis balls. Don is like all excited now. All right, market continues to show some weakness here. Didn't have any place to get short there. But we'll look for the 50 area as the next support level. If you're a little aggressive, maybe you're going to take the 53 area here, only because of the blue band, green band area. But if you're going to take the 53, you're going to do the 50 at the same time. So Don says that in Texas you have to either go big or go small, or go home. So he says you might as well use the beach ball. Oh, I tell you, look what you started there, Mark. Don's using a beach ball instead of a tennis ball, instead of a golf ball. How are we doing? We have deteriorated to Texas-sized golf. Well, we drifted quickly down to 54 and came back up. Again, we had 50 is our next support level, but again, if you're going to be a little aggressive, maybe the 53. You're probably going to have to do the 53 and the 50s just in case you were wondering if you're going to do it. Otherwise, just wait for the 50. That's a price action play. Well, are you talking about a golf ball or a tennis or a beach ball? He wants to know what par would be on the hole if you're going to be playing with a tennis ball or a beach ball. Very interesting. Probably a lot different. You're right. I don't know how much distance you can get on a. Well, I don't know. Golf ball, well, tennis balls, you can probably get some good roll on. All right, let's not go there. Try to figure out how distance on a tennis ball. Yeah, we of course you'd have to make up new rules for this new game that we've created. All right, well, we floated back up here very quickly. We were looking for the 50 area. Unfortunately, we never did get in there. We didn't get down there. All right, just kind of floating back up here now. Again, this is the no trade zone over here. I'll still say that if you get above 66, you won't be out of any shorts, but yeah, just I like the better before than I do now. All right, just come back here, kind of hanging. You mean 60, right? All right, nice little trade there again. Where you got short there, it all depends on where your exit strategy is. If you did it all, again, it's a little tough area to get short. It's coming right back into the range here, so kind of. I don't have an opinion, but maybe you do. That's fine. Nice trade there for you there, Robert. All right, we're just kind of coming back in here into this no trade zone area. The next support level on the downside we have is the 50 area. Upside that we still get above 66 out of any shorts. That's about the constant that we have here. So if you're going to, if it does float back up here, you have your exit strategy if you're looking to get out. If you're looking to get short and then looking to get out. Otherwise, kind of quiet. We had a nice few opportunities here this morning. Our pivot was very helpful to us today. Sometimes it's a little bit more clear than other days how the pivot works, and today it did what it was supposed to do. But the price action also helped in regards to how it played itself out. That was also a key factor. It wasn't just that the pivot was working, but the price action also was helping us use the pivot in the right way. So that kind of helped the situation and keeps us either long. We were long initially, then short, and then kept us short. We have an exit strategy there. So the pivot worked out very nicely for us today. And like I said, right now we're in this no trade zone above 66. Maybe go and retest the highs. We do get below, 50 to 53 here is our green band, so, and our blue band and hourly, maybe a little support there, but we have the better support at 50. So that is going to play a bigger level of support than anything else. And so right now in this area here, pretty much, my mind anyway, kind of a no trade zone. So you have to be a little bit careful and be patient here until it decides what it wants to do. Pretty much in the middle of the range, not only for the day too, but also between yesterday and today. It's kind of right smack in the middle of the range. Again, the new hopes of a Moderna vaccine, in addition to the Pfizer vaccine. Moderna asked for expedited emergency use request, and they expect that to come out this week. So it's another vaccine that should help the situation. And then at any moment, if and when they actually do decide on some kind of a deal in Washington with the budget, and also with the any stimulus for COVID, could create some volatility in the market. Could. So you have to be mindful of that in case that comes out during the day, that there's going to be some kind of news. That news would probably increase. Both of these are a little bit bullish, but again, market is, it's 3,700. It's up here. It's holding its own. It's not really breaking. So we'll see what it wants to do. Again, quiet trade. We've had a few good opportunities this morning, so we cannot complain. And we're just kind of right now, we just have to wait. 50 support downside, above 66 out of any shorts, with probably a run up to the highs there, maybe. But definitely 66 opens up the door to higher trade. At least I think so. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I'm just saying. I will get back here in a bit. Again, if you the levels are in the chat box area that we gave out when the market opened up. So those are the ones we're going to use as a guiding post the rest of the day. But again, there are price action opportunities that came along the way in addition to those. So we've had a good 4 or 5 trades this morning, and use those as a levels for the rest of the day in case we do decide to extend one way or the other. It seems like we're wants to float back into the middle of this range and kind of hang out here, but we'll see. You never know. But we do get more opportunity there in the morning hours than we do late afternoon. So patience is important, especially when it gets a little quiet and they suck the volatility out of the market. But again, anything could happen. You got uh, news this week with potential of something out of Washington coming out. So keep that in mind. If you're trading, anything could happen at any moment. We gave you the exit strategy on the shorts above 66, and basically it definitely sucked out a lot of the volatility here. We'll see what happens, but there are the levels that we gave out when the market opened up, and we used that the rest of the day as a guide.
Hey, a couple quick programming notes. We're just coming into the last part of the morning session here. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, July 15th, 2020. You're in the programming of Pit Intelligence. Price action trading with Sol. Services broken up into guests, current monthlies, and those that are looking to advance into Sol's trading education. The day here starts out with setting key proprietary scalping levels. So it gives them out to everybody in audio. So if you miss them, don't hesitate to ask. Use the chat feature. Things evolve during the morning session based on market activity, price movement. So make sure you stay close when it comes to Sol's levels and the trade action. We had to move some people into the penalty box today. So if you're one of those individuals, make sure you sign up for Sol's monthly. Hey, David, welcome. Good morning. Welcome back. Mark K, let me know what you want to do. Hey, Rick, welcome. Peter, I just sent you out an email. Just let me know back in chat what we're doing. Brian D, welcome. So I've got Saul's information for his monthly. Brian, I'll send it out to you. If I do reach out to people and you don't respond, unfortunately, I have to disconnect you. If you get disconnected, it's usually for 24 hours. Yeah, if you sign up for Saul's monthly, you can come and go as you please. It's heavily discounted. It's a no-brainer. Hey, Robert. Rick, I'll send it out to you. And again, if we don't hear from you, we think you don't care. If we think you don't care, we just put you in the penalty box. We actually have to manually take you out of the penalty box. So I think everybody's got what they need. Brian, if you have any questions about Sol's services, don't hesitate to post them. David, I think you're pretty schooled in Sol's stuff. Just let me know. I think you did sign up for Sol's monthly. Let me know back in chat. Mark K, let me know what you're doing. Rick, I think you're new coming in today. Just let me know back in chat what you're trading. And again, use the chat feature to respond. If anybody wants to talk about Sol's course and his mentoring work, we can talk about that privately on the telephone and personally about where you'd like to be in your trading. And we can go over what the opportunities are based on working with Sol privately. For those that are joining us on the outside, look for the link in the venue that you're seeing. Should be a direct link to drop right into this Zoom service. We're on daily, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We'd open up the service. We'll get the charts up and running. Sol comes in pretty close to the cash open and gives out his levels for the price action trading morning. These are specific areas that Sol is looking at the market to make change. And he has entries, prices, exit prices, and how he defends his position, based on his stop. Every day is different. Trading is a short time wrestle with what's happening with the market to be able to come out on the other side, having banked your profit for the day, your income for the day. And that's the opportunity that presents itself to everybody. We do ask that when we reach out to you for you to respond. Very simple proposition. Sol's been doing this for 25 years or so, as far as his own trading. He's developed an amazing skill set, very straightforward. Very much a sort of light bulbish type thing when it comes to the simplicity of it. But remember, it's about being able to set a roadmap so that you're not being shoved around by the market after the open, being able to focus on the discipline of the levels, and then the why do you do this versus that on the entries, exits, and stops, why area might be still valid or not valid after the market interacting in that particular levels area. And it's the nuance of being able to get into a trade identifying what's happening based on a level, being able to get into a trade, know pretty quickly whether you should stay in that trade, and then your exit strategy. And if you miss your exit strategy, then you have to adjust and go back at it again based on a different level. And if the level's still valid, then the actual level itself. There's not that many on top and bottom during the given morning. The pivot becomes a particularly important area, and then the levels on top and bottom of that become other tradable and interesting areas to bring up your consistent profitability quotient, if you will. So if you could give up a lot of the bells and whistles that come with standardized software and concentrate on just Sol's levels, you'd be way ahead of the game. And I think the end game for individuals is to be able to work with Sol, not only during the morning session, but on a private basis in private class, and to be able to carry those skills back into the service on a daily basis and be able to have him to bounce off what's going on when it comes to the adjusting and tweaking based on the reality of the trade. Now, his course and his mentoring work lasts over a significant period of time so that you have the opportunity to really make this your own. So he's got some great deals on obviously his room, his monthly, usually it's 379, he's got it on for 100. Um, it's funny, I had somebody come in the other day. Actually, he was here for like a couple weeks, or they were here for a couple weeks. And I always got the sense that they were looking for something and looking for something, obviously from Sol, but they never quite paid for the monthly. But they said they would. So that was interesting. I guess the most interesting part is as soon as they got narrowed down, they're gone. And I was thinking to myself, we probably skated because if you can't afford $100, what do you belong trading for? And it just leads to trouble. And the other thing is that I have faith in people. So in some ways, I ended up getting burned. So what ends up happening is that we end up exiting them, not really wanting to, but they're gone, which only I think hurts themselves. But the point is that we've learned a valuable lesson that if individuals can't pay $100. That was my idea. It's usually 379, and people pay 379. But then I said, well, why don't we just make it $100 and let people decide what they want to do, but make it so reasonable that they could never. I mean, it was just a no-brainer. And for the information that Sol gives on a on a 15-minute basis around here is worth considerably more if you understood it. And sometimes it takes a little time to pick up on it all. But the status of individuals trading, is a rough road. It's sort of a false friend with trading software and the different tools, indicators, crosses, market profile. the various pieces of the puzzle out there. But my point is that Saul is giving you a focused discipline on developing consistent profitability for yourself. Saul's already trading. So when we reach out to you, respond. If you don't, that's okay too. Eventually, you'll just get disconnected. Um, and everybody's different. It's not a cookie cutter, countdown clock. There is a sense of honor and belief. But anyway, so I just want to let you know that. So right now it's 11:14 a.m. on Tuesday, December 15th. Make sure Sal said, make sure you order your stuff ahead of time because of the backlog of shipments out there. Be safe when it comes to the COVID. I just went through it and it is zero picnic and it's a lot worse um, than you can imagine. If you've gone through it, I can understand what you know. I just went through it and didn't think I'd make it. It was a really debilitating and very much a lung disorder. And once you lose your ability to breathe, it really is really a unique thing. I feel bad for people that have emphysema and all sorts of crazy stuff. But when they say your health is the most important thing, it absolutely is. I ended up getting one of the experimental infusions of the antivirals, and it had to be approved by a committee at the hospital at Mount Sinai. Luckily, I fit some of the criteria to get into the group, but there were a lot of sick people in there too. It was done on an outpatient basis, which I was lucky to be able to get to. But it took a while for that to kick in, like 2 days. But there was a lot of so I had a combination of the COVID and then the separate crazy part of having pneumonia at the same time. So it's one of those things that a little bit of a double whammy. But so I'm still in the recovery time, but I'm a lot better off than I was. And you slide downhill pretty quick. So if you have anybody that you know, or try to get attention right away, and try not to get called off by the system. The pneumonia part was really tricky because I didn't know I had it, and I was actually trying to qualify for the experimental treatment, and I had to have a positive COVID test, and it was, the state is so backed up that I went for the one that the county was doing in New York, but I hadn't gotten the results back for like 4 days. So I went up to a local, medical doctor place, an MD, city MD actually. And during that process, the doctor said that he'd like to give me a chest X-ray, even though my lungs didn't seem that bad. And it turned out that I had pneumonia. So I had to start on a whole different or an additional uh, medication series to be able to knock it out. And boy, that took time. I'm still actually in the throes of that. Probably 3/4 of the way through, and then I'll get another check X-ray. But yeah, so just it sneaks up on you, so be careful. And it is no, maybe you think that you might have had it already, or that type of thing, and you could have, but when you're in the throes of it and you got it, it's like the grip, man. So just be careful. All right, so I'll send out the thing for individuals to sign up that are on the fence. That's out to everybody. Brian, that's out to you. David L, it's out to you. Peter O, I did send you that email. Let me know if you've turned into a bot. Rick,